My name is Belinda Wasser, also known as RocketGirl. Today we're going to talk about why I love my virtual debit card. Lots of virtual assistants get paid by the hour. However, a lot of virtual assistants don't get paid up front. And while I really wanted to explore retainers and flat rate pricing, it really never worked with my clients and the way our workflow came together. So not really wanting to talk a lot about money, and I wanted to focus more on the work, I came up with a system called the RocketGirl Debit Card. It's a virtual debit card, and let me just walk you through how it works. My clients either buy 5 or 10 hours of my time up front. And for a new client, that's what really triggers the beginning of our client relationship. You know, so all of us have had clients that say, oh, or potential clients, yes, let's get started, I'm so excited. And then they either never get started, or you get started and they say, oh, well, I wasn't sure when we were going to start, or, they're backpedaling. Anyway, when they pull the trigger and buy the debit card, I know they're serious and that it's time to start working together. Every Monday morning, I send all of my clients an email that lets them know how much time they have left. I don't ever send them an accounting of what I did with my time, because the time frame is so short. They really are in the loop about what's happening. So if someone sends me their email newsletter and wants me to send it out for them, and then the next week they see that an hour is gone from their time, they know what I did. The clients buy the debit card right on my website. So in that email that I send out every Monday morning is also a link so that they can reload their debit card. So it's really it's a self-service system, because I'm not asking them for money. I'm not asking them, and they're not getting an invoice to pay. It's really self-service. So on Monday, what happens is clients look at their balance. They say, oh, I only have an hour left, and I'm going to go ask Belinda to do XYZ. I better reload. So often that's a signal for me that I know more work is coming my way when someone reloads their debit card. The clients automatically get a receipt. So they pay me, I get notified, and they get a receipt. So it's just all handled paperless and without any involvement from me once I did the initial setup. I decided to make the time on the debit card good for a year. So when I say good, what I mean is that it doesn't expire for a year. The reason I did that is because some of my clients, it didn't really fit into the retainer model for them, and flat rate was out of the question because what they asked me to do is so varied. So by making it a year, I feel like I take the pressure off of everyone. A client will come to me, and once that debit card is paid for, they really don't hesitate, because they think, oh, Belinda, I've got 10 hours. I can ask her to do this, or there's 5 hours left, so let's just have Belinda do that. And since they're not thinking, if I ask her to do this, she's going to send me an invoice, I'm prepaid, so they don't have to worry about the money part, they love that. Some VAs that have set up the debit card have used 6 months, but for me, it doesn't matter really. I'm happy with the year. Some of my clients buy a debit card every 2 weeks. Other clients might buy a few a year, or they might buy one a year, and just because they want to have the access to me whenever they want, because sometimes I'm not in a position to take new clients because I have too much work, so that way they're guaranteed my attention, which works out really well for all of us. This is one of my favorite things, is when the debit card is empty, what I'll say is I'll email a client and say, hey Joe, just want to let you know, we just ran out of, the debit card is empty. I'd love to continue working on your project, so if you could reload, that'd be great. So again, I'm not saying anything about money really. We know it's money, but it just keeps me focused on the work, and keeps that financial piece handled, but it's not at the top of our conversation. So if you guys want your own debit card system, this absolutely revolutionized my business. I can't tell you. My clients love the debit card, and I've created a course, and it's called the RocketGirl Debit Card System, and you can find it at this bit.ly link right here. And I'd love to have you check it out. And if oh, there's a comment. Let me check this comment out. Will this be recorded so I can view it at a later time? Yes, it is. Yes, and if you are in the Facebook group, it is over in the unit section in the big Facebook group, and it's called the RocketGirl Show. Has there ever been a time when someone who paid for time 6 months ago needs time this week, but you're booked? That's a really good question. Not usually, because what happens is, so right now I have 52 clients, and the reason that I have so many is because, well, the reason I can handle so many is because they all don't need me at one time. So what'll happen is, like one of my clients, Barry, I haven't talked to him in 6 months, and so he sent me an email and said, I'm getting ready to update my website, you know, just want to let you know. But when we do that, it's only going to probably take 1 or 2 hours of my time in a week. And since I'm typically billing, you know, 32, 35 or more hours, I can fit him in, especially because it doesn't have to be at a certain time, you know, on a certain date. It needs to be done within a couple of days. So no, that doesn't happen. And when I do get really busy, which happens, what I'll do is I'll just manage his expectations. I'll say, thank you so much for sending that. I can do that on Monday, or can that wait till Monday? Or I'll ask him what his deadline is for that. So there is some negotiation from time to time about this. Okay, so check that out, and I'd love to have you have your own debit card. And then the last thing I want to do is to mention my free online classroom. It's called the Virtual Assistant Connection. It can be found on Facebook by typing in the Virtual Assistant Connection at the top in the search bar of Facebook. Love to have you. It's a community committed to educating and connecting VAs all over the world. We have 47 countries represented at last count. It's a very warm community. You can get your questions answered and make some virtual assistant friends. So I'd love to have you join us. So I'm Belinda Wasser, signing off until next time. Bye-bye.